Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Officer for the Morris County government. Focus on Morris County is a program that's designed to keep us up to date on the actions that are being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. And the show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. Now, on this segment of the program, we are going to take a look at the importance of being prepared for an emergency or a disaster, and some of the ways that the Morris County government can keep you up to date with vital information in such circumstances. And here to explain how the county government does that are my guests. First, to my left is Carol Spencer. Carol is the Digital and Social Media Manager for Morris County government. And seated next to Carol is Jeff Paul. Jeff is the Director of the Office of Emergency Management here in Morris County. Folks, welcome.
Thank you
to the
very
program.
much.
Thank you, Joe.
Carol, let me start with you. What are some of your responsibilities as Digital and Social Media Manager in the county?
Joe, I manage all of the digital communications, so that would involve managing all of our many websites, both public-facing and internal. I manage all of our social media, what social media we're going to participate in. That's currently, we are Facebook, Twitter, that type of media. I do a lot of photography and video, so we manage Morris Minutes. Another aspect of what I do is to work with the municipalities where requested on helping them, consulting on what they're doing on websites, or in some cases we actually have interlocal services agreements where we do their websites. And also I teach some municipal classes on how to do social media.
Jeff, I'm going to ask you the same question as Director of the Office of Emergency Management in Morris County. What are your responsibilities? What role does OEM play in the county?
Thanks, Joe. We work with all of the emergency response agencies in Morris County to ensure that the appropriate resources are available and mobilized during large-scale incidents, and we respond to certain emergent events throughout Morris County. In addition, we serve as a coordinating and support agency and a response for the integration of all activities to build, sustain, and improve the capability to mitigate against, as well as prepare for and recover from emergency events. So we're kind of a all-inclusive emergency operations kind of center, supporting local emergency response activities. We also coordinate activities at the Emergency Operations Center, which is a brand new facility. The freeholders were very good in supporting the building of this facility, which will really change the way we're able to manage and coordinate events, emergent events throughout Morris County with a lot of partnering agencies.
Now, we've seen, Carol, we've seen in recent years what with hurricanes and tropical storms and snowstorms, that the people in Morris County are anxious to obtain critical information in real time, let's say. Does Morris County social media provide that kind of information to them, and if so, how?
Yes, it absolutely does, Joe. And I have to say, I'll echo what Jeff said about the freeholders being very forward-thinking. We were one of the first counties to fully embrace social media. And we did that approximately 6 to 8 months before we were hit with Hurricane Irene. So at that point we had done the setup, but we had done no advertising. And interestingly enough, as I had said to the freeholders I thought would happen, people found us because our constituents are mobile, they're on tablets, they're on smartphones, and they're on Facebook, Twitter, and that's where they would go to look for that information. So we really had an opportunity to be able to put information out via social media in a very timely fashion, which we did with both of the major hurricanes that have hit us in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and now one of the things that the freeholders also launched a couple of years ago is something that is called McUrgent.
Correct.
Explain what McUrgent is and how we use it.
Well, McUrgent is a separate social channel. So when there is a multi-jurisdictional emergency, something, we say we know that emergencies don't end at town boundaries. A flood doesn't stop at the border of Denville Township. So something that is multi-jurisdictional, we put that information out through a separate social channel called McUrgent. And McUrgent can be found on Facebook, where it's very, very interactive, and on Twitter as well. We put emergency messages out on Twitter. What we also then do is, through technology, we take that Twitter feed, and it's on morriscountynj.gov, which is our main website, and it also feeds to morrisoem.org. So whether you're coming in and looking for information on the web, or on Twitter, or on Facebook, you're going to find that McUrgent messaging.
And I should let our viewers know that we'll be, at the end of the segment, we'll be giving you all of those addresses for the social media that Morris County uses: Facebook, Twitter, the Office of Emergency Management website, the county government website. We'll be giving that to you in just a few minutes. But Jeff, I want to turn to you now. In terms of McUrgent, how does OEM use McUrgent? What role does it play in your responsibilities, and you're trying to get the word out in emergency situations?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because social media, Joe, has excuse me, become such a critical part of what emergency management does, and the integration of professionals like Carol and those of you that work in the Office of Public Information for the county are critical to what we do, because not only are we responsible for managing the event cooperatively in a partnership with many agencies, but the public needs to know what's going on. They need to know what's happening. We need to, in many cases, calm people down so things don't, the rumor mill doesn't run rampant. And we need to provide information, and we also want to get information. So we have found that the integration and actually taking social media and embedding it in the actual operation of the Emergency Operations Center is critical. So let's use Hurricane Sandy as an example. We had Carol and the staff at the Office of Public Information, with the county administrator, John Bonani and Mary Jo Buchanan were there, taking an active role in seeing what information was taking place that was important to relay out to the public. And the public, in turn, because the police couldn't be everywhere, the rescue teams couldn't be everywhere, the fire people couldn't be everywhere, the public was interacting with them, providing us critical information that we were able to troubleshoot many, many scenarios. We had a lot of good success stories that resulted in information and dialogue via the social media channels with the public. So, when you go onto Facebook for emergency management, or certainly during major events, there's a social media person generally that's involved in, putting information out and also telling us what the public is seeing and hearing, because that's important as well.
Now, so what kind of information would you be looking for, let's say, from the public in an emergency situation?
Well, we'll use Hurricane Sandy as an example. I mean, we had, obviously it was a widespread event, and resources were taxed, dealing with, the critical types of situations. The public participated by providing us the information with regards to down wires, live down wires, in cases where people were trapped in vehicles, with pictures coming off of phones and smartphones and tablets and those kind of things, where we're getting those live time right at the Emergency Operations Center. We're looking at the picture, we're evaluating it, we can see it for ourselves, and we can move right into the mitigation phase, where we can talk to whatever partnering agency needs to be notified. We can prioritize that based on the data exchange without having to send necessarily a police car that you might not even have available, or a fire truck that might not be available because they're already engaged in many other things. We can, kind of cut the middle person out to have to go and look and evaluate that firsthand when the public's already done it. So really, the public becomes an extension of our ability to effectively and efficiently operate in major events.
And Carol, the good thing too about McUrgent is that it can be received on a number of different devices, right? Even if a person's power is out.
Right. That's one of the major advantages, Joe, of communicating with people this way, is that, our tablets are charged, and we put out preparedness notices in advance of an event if we know it's coming, like a Hurricane Sandy or Irene. And one of the things that we tell people is charge all your devices. Even once something lasts 3 or 4 days, you still have car chargers, so you can recharge your devices in the car. So yes, you can communicate on smartphones. We had an instance during Hurricane Sandy where a loop road was completely closed on both segments with down trees with wire involvement, and that requires specialists in JCP&L to come in and get rid of those wires before the trees could be removed. We had absolutely no idea that this situation existed. And a woman sent us a tweet with a photograph and let us know about it. And within about 12 hours, and we had ongoing dialogue, but within about 12 hours, that neighborhood had an opening so they could get out to get ice, water, and the other things that they desperately needed.
Yeah.
So it's a great two-way communications, and the ability to use it on mobile devices that can be car charged. It's perfect.
Yeah. Jeff, there is something also that should be folks with special needs, their friends, their family members should be aware of, and it is called Register Ready, I believe. What can you tell us about Register Ready and how it helps folks like you in emergency management and other first responders?
Register Ready is a program that's run by the state that allows residents with special needs and their families, friends, and associates to register them online. And what happens is if you have someone that might be wheelchair bound or might need extra assistance during an evacuation or may need their oxygen system to be powered, in the event when the power goes out, it's a problem. Those are people that should be registered in Register Ready, because what it does is in Morris County, there's a liaison in each municipality. And we, the county and Human Services, serves as a lead. So the municipalities actually get a list of those individuals in their respective jurisdictions that are registered. So in times of need, we can quickly go to that list and make sure that those people are taken care of and prioritize those needs. So in Sandy, it proved to be extremely successful because what we did with our Human Services partners, and a lot of credit goes to the Human Services team, and our Assistant County Administrator, Mary Jo Buchanan, actually headed this up. We were actually in the days prior to Hurricane Sandy, based on Register Ready and also the existing client base that exists already with, say, MAPS, the Morris Area Paratransit System, and those people being serviced by Human Services. We were able to get out to those people, bringing thousands of boxed lunches, or boxed meals, not just lunch, but all meals, and pre-deliver those things and prepare them and communicate with them because we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know whether we'd be able to get to them in a timely manner like they would normally expect. So things like Register Ready really do help not only the emergency services people from maybe not having to get engaged with them, but it allows on the human service side the ability to interact with them up front.
Yeah. Well, folks, I want to thank you very much for being with us, and I just want to let our viewers know we promised them some information on how to access all of this information that we've been talking about. First of all, we should say that the McUrgent posts, when they are posted on McUrgent, they go directly to facebook.com/McUrgent, twitter.com/McUrgent. They're also posted on the county government website, morriscountynj.gov, and on the Office of Emergency Management website, which is morrisoem.org. And if you'd like to find out more about McUrgent, you can visit morrisoem.org/McUrgent.asp. Again, Carol Spencer, Jeff Paul, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office at 973-285-6010. And don't forget to visit the county government's website, morriscountynj.gov. And check out the various social media that Morris County government embraces, that being Facebook, Twitter. You can view copies of this program and other informational videos on YouTube. If you're looking for some county government documents, they're on Scribd. And if you would like to check out some photos from various county government events, they are on Flickr. I'm Joe Garifo. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Are you pregnant, scared, or a new mother who can't care for your newborn?
There's a safe haven in New Jersey.
You or a friend can bring an infant to any hospital or police station and give up custody safely, legally, and anonymously.
No questions asked. No shame, no blame, no names.
Call 1-877-839-2339 or visit njsafehaven.org to learn more. Remember,
New Jersey has a safe haven for unwanted infants.
Brought to you by the New Jersey Department of Children and Families.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and on this segment of the program, we are going to focus on the Morris County Park System and some of the activities that are going on within the parks here in Morris County. There's always lots to talk about when it comes to our park system. And here with me today is my guest. He is David Helmer. Dave is the Executive Director of the Morris County Park Commission. Dave, welcome to the program.
Thank you for the invitation.
As I said, there's always lots to talk about when we talk about the Morris County Park System. But before we get into some of the specific activities going on, just give us a little overview of the park system itself.
Sure. The park system was established in 1956 by voter referendum by the residents of Morris County. It has 9 volunteer commissioners appointed by the Board of Chosen Freeholders. And I'm the executive director of the park system. We're responsible for stewarding somewhat close to 19,000 acres of open space in Morris County. And the properties are 38 distinct properties, and they range from Mennen Sports Arena to the golf courses. We have 4 golf courses, 7 national and state historic sites, 150 miles of trail, indoor-outdoor rental facilities for picnics, weddings, and such. So it's a very diverse park system, probably one of the more diverse park systems in New Jersey.
Now, one of the newest facilities of the Morris County Park System is known as Central Park of Morris County. It's located in Parsippany. Now, when this facility was dedicated back in 2008, what did it include then?
Well, in 2008, it included a number of the older buildings that were part of the Greystone Psychiatric Facility, but also the develop of a new recreation area. So on the property, there are 2 inline roller skating rinks with sports lighting. They're flooded in the wintertime for ice skating, but they're also used for much more than hockey. We've got kids playing soccer in the rinks and box lacrosse and a number of different activities. There was also a softball field that was on the property that we cleaned up and fixed up, and it's used by a lot of adult leagues throughout the year. And an interesting playing field. It's called a Challenger League field, and what it is a rubber-based field and designed for those who are not fleet of foot, those that may be wheelchair-bound or in crutches, so that they actually can play baseball and softball and have a flat surface. It also comes along with a restroom facility on the property. Mm-hmm. And what was previously there was a natural amphitheater that we made improvements for, so if somebody wanted to have a concert series or a poetry reading, they could do that on the property.
And I should mention, you mentioned Greystone buildings. I should mention that the property, Central Park of Morris County, was at one time deemed excess property by the state. It had been owned by Greystone, and Morris County purchased that property, and hence we now have Central Park of Morris County. Okay, so let's fast forward a bit from 2008 to today. How has Central Park of Morris County grown over the years?
Oh, it's evolved in so many different ways. The property is about 300 acres of land. Only about 65, 75 of those acres are actually being developed for active recreational pursuits. The rest of it are more passive in nature, forested tracts of land and hiking trails. But on one side of the property, we now have a Frisbee disc golf course that goes through the woods that a group of volunteers actually helped develop. And then on the property was an old ice pond where ice was cut during the winter time to help the property and the residents on the property, and now we have a stone dust trail around that pond, heavily used. We also have 4 artificial turf athletic fields with sports lighting that are basically used almost every hour of the day except when kids are in school all season long. So that's for soccer, lacrosse, girls lacrosse. We've had rugby tournaments up there. We also now have a large picnic shelter or tent on the site, so a family or group could rent the shelter for those activities. We have a 5K cross-country loop on the property that was actually started by a local high school cross-country coach, and so that property now hosts the Junior Lakeland cross-country program, which has about 1,000 children racing every Sunday in the fall in the high school programs. We also have an off-leash dog park area. It's about a 5-acre dog park area. As part of the artificial field construction project, there's about 1.1 mile of paved trail. Somebody's used to our traction line or Lewannica Brook Reservation. It's similar to that. And we had a great sponsor 2 years ago, Daiichi Sankyo out of Parsippany, donated 100 cherry trees on the property. So we are every year adding more cherry trees to the site to bring it back to life again.
Now, in September of 2014, still another facility was dedicated at Central Park of Morris County. It's a playground that all children can use. I don't know if you call it an all-access playground.
That's
but
correct.
What can you tell us about this?
Well, it's an interesting activity. An individual from Morris Township came to the Park Commission one day and had expressed that her child, who's wheelchair bound, doesn't have a lot of opportunity to participate in activities, outdoor activities, with other children, and was looking for a playground area that was accessible. But accessible in such a way that the children who are wheelchair bound are actually at play with the rest of the children. We have other play forms that have amenities, but the child who's wheelchair bound is really not part of that group. So it's an all-access playground, and it's designed where if somebody's in a wheelchair, there's a special swing that the wheelchair itself goes into, right next to the swings of the other children. The decking that goes from one tower to another tower is all accessible with a ramp. So the children who are wheelchair bound are part of the play with the rest of the children using the property. The surface that you walk on or wheel on is accessible for wheelchairs. So it's a really, really neat improvement to the site.
The Park Commission had some partners, I guess, to help in the funding of this playground. What can you tell us
Correct.
about
Well,
that? Yeah.
the Park Commission has a nonprofit association related to it, the Alliance for Morris County Parks, and they're the ones that took over this initiative and raised a little over $300,000 to install and design the playground. And the seed money, the first set of funding actually came from the NFL Hometown Huddle program through the Jets Play 60 effort, getting kids back out and playing outside and not on their computers. And that really started the whole fundraising initiative in cooperation with the United Way of Northern New Jersey, a number of local known family foundations throughout Morris County, the Christopher Reeves Foundation, even all the way down to the Girl Scouts who donated funds from fundraising drives to siblings of some of the children that actually play on the playground and raising fundraising campaigns. So they raised over $300,000 to have this playground, which is now open to the public.
Now, if someone wanted more information, by the way, and at the end of this segment, we'll give you all the contact information for the Morris County Park Commission, including the Park Commission's website. You can go on the website and find out information about any of the Park Commission facilities here in Morris County. Now, the Park Commission operates 4 golf courses, and this year, I believe 2014, was the first time that all 4 golf courses were being run by a private firm. How did that come about, and how has it worked out?
Sure. 2 years ago, we sought to bring an outside firm in to run one of the golf courses. With increased operating expenses, salaries and wage expenses and benefit costs, the way in which the Park Commission needed to operate its golf courses to continue to provide a great product to the golfer at an affordable rate, we decided to go out and solicit proposals. In our trade, it's a request for proposals, and we went out and had solicited and received about 10 different proposals from entities that operate golf courses specifically in the Northeast. The company that was awarded the contract 2 years ago was Billy Casper Golf. It worked out so well after the first 2 years at Berkshire Valley Golf Course in Jefferson, we decided to move forward and have the other 3 facilities go out to an RFP, and Billy Casper was awarded that contract also. And what it does in this day and age, especially with competition in golfing, is a strong marketing campaign. Billy Casper Golf is a well-known operator throughout not just this country but internationally, and their ability to attract golfers to the property was very important. And it propelled the Park Commission's facilities into the eyes of golfers throughout the region. And it's worked well. Play has stabilized, and it's been an unusual golf industry over the last number of years. The courses are in great conditions. The properties are all owned and still are owned by the County of Morris for park purposes and stewarded by the Park Commission. And that should be known also. It's really a management company that comes in and operates and runs the facilities.
Yeah. Now, Morris County has what is called a Preservation Trust Fund. Monies from the Preservation Trust Fund are used to preserve open space, farmland, protect our water resources. The Park Commission also receives some dollars from the Preservation Trust. What are some of the ways that those dollars have been used by the Park Commission?
The way the Park Commission sees the Preservation Trust funds is a way to stabilize, improve, and provide additional amenities to the park users and the residents of Morris County. So at Menin Sports Arena, it's a 3-seated ice skating facility. We make improvements to the lighting system using these Park Improvement Trust dollars. So for example, 10 years ago, the electric bill at Menin Arena was $750,000 a year. By making improvements to lighting and equipment, it's now down to about $400,000 a year. We also use these funds to help with matching grants from state and national historic trusts. So the historic Speedwell, where the telegraph was perfected, the restoration of the factory building there, we use the Park Improvement Trust money as seed money, but we're able to get a federal Save America's Treasures grant for $600,000. And it's used across the park system, from trail improvement projects to infrastructure improvement projects to playground renovations to picnic shelter construction. But we try to, once again, leverage those dollars from grants and from other financial resources.
And the park system, with all of its facilities and amenities, draws how many people a year? I want to say a couple of million. Is that?
Well, we from a backup perspective, we have about 3.5 million visitors a year. But as you know, we have over 150 miles of recreational trails, and there are many, many residents that access these trails. And we think that number is significantly more. In fact, we're beginning to install trail counters to help give us an idea of the flow of traffic. But 1 million people a year at Menin Sports Arena, for instance. Yeah. And the Central Park of Morris County had gone from 25,000 people a year kind of playing hockey in the courts. Now we think that number is going to be close to 300,000 a year.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is a magnificent park system, and you really should, if you have not yet taken advantage of any of the facilities in the park system, do so. I'm going to give you some contact information for the Morris County Park System. You should also know that the Morris County Park Commission recently moved. They went from the Frelinghuysen Arboretum to the Morris County Cultural Center, which is a facility of the Morris County Park System, and that is at 300 Mendham Road in Morris Township. If you would like to find out more information, you can call 973-326-7600. There is a County Park Commission website, which is morrisparks.net. And you can also email if you have a question about anything related to parks here in Morris County, and that is info@morrisparks.net. Dave Helmer, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholders Office, and that number is 973-285-6010. Visit the county government's website too, morriscountynj.gov. And once you're there, you can also take advantage of the many social media that Morris County embraces: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If you're looking for some county government documents, you'll probably find them on Scribd. And if you would like to check out some pictures from Morris County government events, check out our Flickr page. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week at this time, won't you, for another edition of Focus on Morris County.